Hey everyone, it's Willow Shire with Awaken with Willow, and I have...
Hi, I am Bailey from @Elysian Exchange 111. I'm a channel and a healing guide. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for being on. We're going to talk today about some ET experiences that Bailey has had. Here's some of her perspective, and let's just go to you, Bailey.
All right, ET time. My experience connecting deeply with extraterrestrials didn't really happen on a conscious level until I connected with Will. So the first time I was introduced to my ET galactic guides was through his spirit art.
First client.
I was his first client, and I've told the story before. If you've already heard it, I'll tell it quickly. I found Will through Nicole's page, Nicole High Priestess 11 on Instagram. She was posting about this spirit artist that could sketch all types of beings, and I really had this desire to connect with my starseed family, is what I was calling my ET and galactic guides at the time. This is because at that moment in time I was waking up to being a starseed, being a hybrid soul, meaning being in human form but having a soul that has remembrance of past lives that are not human. And yeah, so I needed a way to experience extraterrestrials in a way that I could handle, because I had a lot of fear and discomfort around really closely interacting or seeing. And this is not just related to ETs, this is related to even like crossed over loved ones and guides. I'm extremely telepathic and feeling and hearing. So seeing and having really close physical interactions are something that I'm working on ever since meeting my guides through Will.
Yeah, she was my first client. I helped her see a mantid named Stuart, who is actually on the cover of my book, The Journey of Spirit Art. For those of you who've seen the cover, he's right in the center of it. He's black and white. It's when I was doing just pencil and marker inking work. I wasn't coloring or anything. I guess with your ET experiences and telepathy, what are some of the things you've experienced?
Yeah, so first, before I connected to get a reading from Will, I remember sitting in my backyard calling out for my starseed family, my galactic family, and asking them to connect with me in a way that I could handle and understand. So first, I remember the first time I started really opening up my channel. So I got colored pencils and I sat outside and I just asked my guides if there were any like ET or galactic guides to step forward and connect with me through automatic writing. So I remember at that time I was picking up different colored pencils that were related to different beings, and the different beings would speak to me telepathically and write through me. So I would pick up a blue pencil for a blue being, and then the blue being would give its message telepathically, and then I would write that down via automatic writing. Then a green pencil, and so on. Then when I got a reading from Will, 3 different beings stepped forward. A mantid named Stuart is what he calls himself. Then an Arcturian, and what was the other one?
I don't remember.
It was a gray being.
Probably a Zeta.
Probably a Zeta, but it's so funny because when I go and look back on that paper, I'm positive I had the colored pencil gray, blue, and green. So I was working with my ET guides through automatic writing first. Then I got to visually see and be activated to them through Will's creation and through the light codes that are exuded out of his artwork. After connecting with my ET guides through Will, then I started hearing them more strongly telepathically. Once they gave me a name, a label to call them because they don't use names. They are all energy based. They're all telepathic. In the higher realms, they don't necessarily have to use language or use labels the way that we do here on planet Earth. So when they're picking a name to call themselves, it's really just for our comfort, and because essentially they've scanned our vocabulary and our brain, and they have this capacity to just have fun with our language. So Stuart labeled himself Stuart, so that way I had something to call him. But Stuart and the other guides that came through to me through the process of connecting to Will would start telepathically connecting to me in moments where I was being called to purify my vessel. So shortly after that reading, I would open the fridge and I'd be thinking about what I want to eat. I would hear in my head, don't eat that, eat this, eat something red, eat something brown. Real food, high vibrational food. They were so energetic, they were so funny, they were so playful and so silly, and they were very concerned about whether or not I was intaking high vibrational foods connected to the chakra system. That's why they were giving me color. Eat something red for your root chakra. Eat something brown to ground you. They were very playful and concerned about helping me navigate how to have a higher vibrational experience on this planet. Because ETs are very concerned about the environment, the planet, and they host an awareness of this planet creates food and herbs and all kinds of other things that support your vessel, that support your energy bodies, your etheric body, your mental and emotional body. They have an awareness of the fact that this planet produces safety and nourishment for us, because that's how they exist on their planets. So that's part of their guidance, is teaching us to remember that.
Yeah, when it comes to food, I've had them raiding my fridge. You can find a couple videos about that where I wake up and they're looking at the fridge and looking at food and trying to get us to eat healthier, and also looking in the fridge because you can tell a lot about a person by looking at their fridge. What are they eating? What are they consuming? How conscious are they? How aware are they? Is it full of beer and meat and sugar and all this other stuff? Or is it full of plants or a mixture, that type of thing? And with mantids, I've had some experiences with insects and mantids, and you were mentioning some earlier. How have you experienced them?
Insectoid beings can be kind of funny. So there are insectoid beings that, when we say that, we mean these are physical form beings that look like insects to us. At least this is how we perceive them. They're not necessarily physical form in our reality at this moment in time, but as we raise the vibrational frequency of this planet, we can start seeing a physical form of these beings that are currently around us and that always exist. Anyway, insectoid beings are funny because they're playful and they're not above playing jokes on humans. They're like us. They're beings. They're experiencing, and they want to have fun too. So I've had some instances where I'm maybe struggling with my vibration and I'm not as aligned as I should be, and I'm outside, repeating a cycle or repeating a pattern, and I've had a beetle get thrown at me, like a beetle that was just flying around, get in my face, smacked my forehead, buzzed by my ear, just attack mode. And I remember being like, Stuart, is that you? It wasn't malevolent or anything like that. It was more so pay attention, because they rule the insect kingdom. if that makes sense. Like they have the capacity to telepathically guide an insect to present to us, to get our attention, in the same way an angel or a crossed over loved one can telepathically guide, you know, that butterfly or that hummingbird or that angel number. They can guide you to look at the angel number. Through telepathy, they use what their symbols are to us on Earth to get our attention.
Yeah, and I've had similar things happen. I have a mantid friend named Wasp I met in Utah who was physically like behind me, and I was confirming he was behind me and asked him to do it, and he picked the largest beetle he could find and slammed that sucker into my face to be like, yep, I'm here. Right after I asked the question, within 2-3 seconds, I was smacked and watched this big beetle fly off into the distance. You know, of course, that wasn't enough for me. I had to ask for more proof of him throwing a rock, which he ended up doing, and throwing the rock up beside me. But they will telepathically link with insects, animals, you know, and use them as a way, like, if you're not ready to see extraterrestrials, if you're not ready to see galactics, whether they're of Earth or off Earth, they'll use the natural kingdom to interact with you, to say, yes, we're here. You know, whether they're right beside you or telepathically far, far away, they can connect through oneness to telepathically say, hey, go hit that person in the face.
Yeah.
And it's not, it doesn't harm the beetle, like, knows that they're not going to harm it. But it hits, it's such a surprise, it's like a shock type of thing, and then you get your message and it goes away. Or they, like she said, move your face or put an angel number in front of you, or an animal crosses your path, that sort of thing.
Yes, keep in mind, it's not malevolent. It's like, it's energy, they're saying. It's a huge gust of energy and intention. So he, you know, Stuart, not even like, okay, there's no like he, she, that's energy. But Stuart can send a gust of energy and intention towards that beetle and say to that beetle, get Bailey's attention, right? But because Stuart is coming from a higher dimensional plane, that gust of energy is strong. So that beetle's gonna smack me right in the face. They can work with the physical world as we see it, but it's their energy is so strong that it will be felt. Another way they want me to bring up that they've come through to me, for example, Stuart, when Will drew an insectoid that was called a mantid, but that looked like a praying mantis to me, instantly I knew, like, okay, I have been being visited by this being. Because before, like, getting my reading from Will and like fully connecting, I was getting visited by praying mantises, like, back to back. And I live in Arizona, in the desert. That is not common for us at all. And I was like, this was before Will was in my experience, before I found Nicole's page, just me on my solo journey, trying to exit my darkest night of the soul. And I would see a praying mantis on my back patio door. And the praying mantis was just there on the window looking at me, and I thought, that's weird, I never see praying mantises. And it was vibrant green, and I thought, okay, cool. And then on my car, on the windshield of the car, I would get in my car, and then praying mantis just like hanging on to the windshield, staring in my car. And I'm thinking, what the hell, am I tripping right now? And then I would think to myself, okay, I need to look up the symbolism. What is the symbolism of a praying mantis? Boom, again, a third time. I don't remember in what context, but I would see it again. And then when I get the reading from Will, he sketches out this being that looks like a praying mantis with these big old beautiful eyes, the head shape of it. And I'm certain the being would be green if he colored it in, if I purchased that. But it was not a surprise to me that it was him. And that's the thing, is what they're trying to say is they will even use insects that may look like them or reflect them and present to you to let you know, like, I'm around you, I'm here.
Yeah, I've had clients, a few times I've had them draw smiley faces on windows, for my experience. But I have had clients when it comes to mantids where one specifically was taking a shower and turned around and they had drawn a praying mantis in the shower, like the fog of the shower type of thing.
Oh, wow.
So they'll, yeah, yeah. I have pictures of that on my Instagram they sent to me. You'll have them present in different ways, and when it comes to the type of being they are, they often use what is most reflective of who they are, type of thing. But again, they're adamant. Mantids are not mantises; they're separate. But they use them as like a way to communicate with people.
And that's the thing, like, they like to be called mantids, but we can also see their connection to us through the presentation of a praying mantis, because that's a variation of them on Earth. But again, they don't use like labels, or they don't care so much about that. But what they're trying to differentiate, they're saying, is that they are hybrid beings, and similar to like avians, blue avians, they are their own species of energies and entities that work and guide and exist, versus like a bird is of the avian family, but it's its own bird here on Earth, its own type of bird. So they're all related through oneness, and they can all work together. But a blue avian is not the same as a hummingbird or a hawk. Similar, a praying mantis is not the same as a mantid who has a consciousness and can communicate with another person on the human plane telepathically.
Yeah. Anything else coming up for you?
Any other experiences with ETs? Yes. My ET guides come through a lot when I'm doing light language. So if we are doing a light language transmission to activate an individual who is ready to start waking up to galactic consciousness, who is ready to start exploring their past lives on different planets, or remember necessary gifts that they developed on that planet, or remember trauma and karma related to their time in different forms, so that way they can clear it in this lifetime. The ET guides will work a light language transmission through my physical vessel, through my voice, and they will have me exude energy to the receiver. So different ETs, different beings, come through in a different tone or dialect or sound. So there's light language transmission that I can exude that sounds like me, related to my soul's frequency. But I also have the capacity to host a light language transmission delivered by an avian being, which sounds very like clicky and higher pitched. And I'll give you guys examples right now. And then I can also host a light language transmission related to the insect-like beings or ancestors. So I'm a physical channel as well, so that means I can be worked through by a variety of beings, including just allow my higher self to work through me.
Yeah, and that's something I experienced was light language activation. I don't typically say that I do it. There was a point in time where I did offer it with my readings, and I had ETs coming through and speaking their language through me, and it was interesting because they would try to speak my language through them, and we would have difficulties because I cannot pronounce the sounds that they naturally make, and they cannot pronounce our sounds naturally. So some of them we would have fun with it, and I would do the recordings and send it to the clients. Ultimately, that I decided to focus more on spirit art, but they can, when you're telepathically connected to them, you can bring through their language, and they can do the same on their end. The physical ETs and stuff can try to bring through your language, and you can have fun going back and forth with it, type of thing. So what are some examples that you were bringing up?
I didn't know that. I didn't
They
know
never
that
told you that?
that they could speak
Yeah.
our language in their version of reality.
Yeah, I have. So a lot of those that are physically incarnated on their own worlds, they can. I've had experiences where they're like, okay, I'm telepathically talking to them as they're giving me the light language, and I'm speaking it into the audio, and then as I'm asking them what it is, they're translating my words as English and trying to make my sounds and trying to
Oh,
go
yes.
back and forth. Yeah.
Yes, through telepathy, they're able to almost like translate what is being activated and communicated. It's all energy, so it's not necessarily, we don't have to understand the light language transmission through the logical mind or mental bodies. It's more so felt in the heart space. It's more so felt and received on a soul level, and the light codes that come out via voice or via palms or artwork, they just go into the areas of the energetic field or the physical vessel or the chakra system where they're most needed. The light codes are really intelligent in this way. But yeah, there have been times where I'm like doing a light language transmission, and then I hear in my head, full body upgrade, activating past life remembrance, heart chakra rebalancing, and so on. Like they'll say back to us using our language, here's what you're doing, in case you need to translate that to the client.
Yeah, and I do mean they were trying to speak English too.
Wow.
As part of that. Ocean beings. I remember ocean beings having fun with it, like them, watching them try, because I can kind of remote view them and watching them and feeling them try to speak English while I'm trying to speak their language. Doesn't work the same way.
That's so cute.
But the language is still translated because it's all energy. Yeah.
That's so cool. That's funny that they would try to speak human words.
Yeah. And so it was a fun little game type of thing.
That's cool.
What are some examples that you were gonna share?
So let's see. So like my light language sounds like this. And that's my higher self speaking light language. Then we've got Blue Avian beings. It's like bird sounds and clicking sounds, and it's higher vibrational. So I feel like a lot of pressure in the nose, I guess like the third eye, and then the crown area. You can connect with them very deeply when you're actually sitting out in nature by trees under sunlight. But it's like, and they work a lot on the throat as well. They try to open up the throat to help people speak. And then I think the mantid beings, I can hear it in my head. They're like, it's like I can't even do it right now. It's like bug sounds.
When mantids come through for clients, I often send music, and mantids a lot of times want the client to hear what they sound like, and they pick ASMR keyboard and mouse clicks.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just sounds like somebody clicking a mouse and typing real fast on a keyboard.
Like intense. It's beautiful. And then for like there's ancestors too that are like really connected to the land. They're like and they're really connected to the land, really grounded. So as you see, they come in through different sounds, tones, dialects, intentions, and they work in different areas of your system.
Yeah. Well, thank you for telling us about your experiences and some of the light language. Anything else coming up for you?
No, thank you so much. I'm truly grateful. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening, everybody. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Make sure to like and subscribe. And thank you again. You can support me at awakenwithwillow.com if you're looking for a spirit art reading. And for Bailey,
you can support me by following my Instagram account at Elysian Exchange 111. You can check me out and my offerings at baileyolivas.com. And you can check me out on YouTube as well. I'll start releasing videos here.
Thank you, everyone. Grateful for each and every one of you. Love you all.
Bye. Thank you.